What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another Monte Carlo in Python tutorial video. In the last video, we got the variables for the comparison of going bust versus making a profit chances. We did this between the simple better and the doubler better. Then the next thing that we want to know, though, is there another multiple besides 2 that is going to be a better multiple? And so that is the question, and luckily we can just brute force this with our Monte Carlo simulation. Now, this number is something that will be pretty unique, but the numbers like wager size, wager count, and starting funds, but mostly wager size and starting funds, those two variables are probably linked very closely to each other and should be better thought of how much of a percentage of your starting funds should you wager rather than 10,100, right? So the next thing that we want to do here is we want to use Monte Carlo simulator to tell us if we can find a better variable to use rather than 2. And then later on, we can use the Monte Carlo simulator to do even more stuff, but we want to keep it pretty simple and basic for now. And so at least I will just mention there's one logical flaw with only using this singular variable. And that logical flaw is the following. If right now we're only saying either did you make a profit or did you go bust. We're not considering what about the people that didn't go bust? How much money did they lose? Did they only lose like 500 on average? Or did they lose, 9,000 on average? And then of the people that made a profit, how much profit did they make? Did they make $1 billion? Or did they only make a very small marginal amount? So even if, for example, if you right now, the variable we're going to use is our bust rate was 31.235%. I did it across 1 million samples. And then the profit, 63.208% profited with our doubler method. Now, the question though is, of those 63%, how much profit did they really make? So if a third of everyone's going bust and our profiters are only profiting 1,000 units on average, then this is not a good method because there's not enough profit to offset the losses. So just keep that in mind. We will get to that soon, and we will show some actual figures of was there actual profit or loss, and then actually maybe tie in all 3 of the variables together, or I haven't decided if I'm going to take it that far or not, so we'll see. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So we go up here, and we're going to set some variables that we know we need to beat. So lower bust. So we want to have a bust rate that is lower than 31.235, and then we want to have a higher profit rate than 63.208. So those are the variables that we want to beat. Now let's say our sample size. We'll leave this all. We'll leave that all for now. Now what we want is a multiples better, and the multiple better is going to be very similar to our doubler better. Trying to think if I just want to copy and paste our doubler better, or if I want to just type it in. It might take a while to type it in, but I think we'll just type it in so we don't miss anything. This will be pretty easy to screw this one up. So define multiple underscore better. And at least we'll copy and paste some stuff. We don't care about color. We're not going to plot it right now. So paste those variables in there, or parameters rather. And just like we had doubler better have doubler bust and doubler profits, we're going to do the same thing. These variables don't exist yet, but they will. So multiple busts, not with a capital B though, and global multiple profits. Value starts off as funds, wager starts off as initial wager, WX, and WY. I guess we're not really going to be plotting this stuff, but we'll just have it there for now. Current wager equals 1, previous wager equals win. And actually, at this point, we are going to copy and paste. Because really, the only variable that's going to change is this doubler stuff. And we'll just edit those in. Alright, that makes a whole lot more sense. So some of you guys were like, no. Anyway, and we don't need a plot, but I'll just edit that in a second. So copy this. So basically, I'm going to double or better, starting at previous wager amount, highlighting all the way down to the end. Copy, and then we'll come here, paste. Okay, so now what we want to do is check everything. Let's see, because at least we know multiple busts and multiple profits. So we're looking. Let's look for doubler first. Doubler. So at least this. I think this is really all we have to do then. Multiple. Well, busts. Yeah. So multiple busts. Multiple busts. Don't we have another bust somewhere? There we go. Multiple busts. Now we need a random multiple. So right here we're doing 2. Instead we're going to do random multiple. And again, same thing here. Random multiple. So that uses our random multiple. I believe that's the only 2 spots that we really need that. And I think everything else here we can leave. We don't really need to be appending all this stuff because we're not going to graph it, but that's okay. And we'll just comment that out. It's just the plotting that really adds to performance leeching. So anyway, when we're all done here, multiple wager, multiple profits, current wager plus equals 1. If value... I think what we want to do really is something like multiple busts. I mean, we can leave this here, but current wager plus equals 1 really needs to be right under here. Okay, so that's good. And then at the end of the while loop, current wager. Okay, so that's just at the very end it does this. So I guess it's just one last check. So I think everything's good now. We'll find out really quick, I think. So anyway, now what we want to do is we want to come down here all the way, and let's go ahead and let's see. We can get rid of this, get rid of this. This needs to be multiple busts, and we'll keep one of these. We'll keep double or better. We'll get rid of this. This we'll get rid of, and really all this we'll get rid of. Okay. So what we're left with is the calling of this function x plus equals 1. We'll add our while loop in just a moment. Just wanted to clean away some of that stuff that we don't need anymore. So x equals 0. And what we want to do now is we want to say while x is less than, you know, in fact, why don't we just do this? While true. We don't even need, we'll just let this continue running. So we don't need any of that. So we'll just put this under here. So if you're not familiar, while true just means it's an infinite loop. It will run forever. So we want multiple busts equals 0.0, multiple profits equals 0.0. Now what we want to know, multiple samp size, and we're going to put this equal to, we'll say 100,000. So what my plan is first we're going to set this like this. So the previous script, what it was doing was it was running a bunch of examples, and it gave us the mean of everybody that did that exact same strategy for that exact amount of time and all of that. So you get not every, but you get a decent sample size. So my goal is to pick a random number and then check it across 100,000 samples. And if it gives a better result than, you know, both of these, it must do better than lower bust and higher profit. If it does that, let me know what that multiple was. So that's the plan. So anyway, continuing on, we're going to check for 100,000 per random multiple that we make up. We're going to currently say that current sample equals 1. And then we'll come down here, and now we need to generate just a random multiple. So we're going to do random underscore multiple equals random.uniform, and this will use 0.1, and we'll do 0.1 to 10.0. I don't think a number larger than 10 is going to be the victor. It's probably going to be a number actually smaller than 2. So that's why I just don't really see the point of going any larger. That's just going to be a huge waste of time, most likely. So that'll definitely encompass what we want, I think. Now the next thing, oh, and feel free to pick different numbers here. If you want to put something else in there, go ahead. These are just the numbers I'm going to pick. So now what we're going to do is, while current sample is less than or equal to multiple samp size, what do we do? And this is where we're going to run not doubler better, we're going to run multiple better. Multiple better. And multiple better, random multiple. Did we add random multiple up here? Where's our multiple better? Here he is. So we need to, let's see, multiple better, and then we come down here, random multiple. I don't think that we have our random multiple that we need. I guess random, because we're not going to edit the variable. So actually, we won't need to global it. So, as I was saying, random multiple, so we'll run multiple better, and so basically what it's going to do is, while true, it's just going to run through all of this, pick a random multiple, and it's going to use random multiple for that variable in multiple better. And what it's going to do is, while current sample is less than or equal to multiple sample size, so it's going to do this for 100,000 attempts. It's going to save everything to those variables that we've put in there, so multiple busts, multiple profits. And then current sample plus equals 1. And then at the very end, we want it to alert us if we've had some sort of success, right? So if we find something that we really that's better than both of those variables, we want to know. So we're going to make a really long if statement, and it's going to go off the screen. So I'll try to code it kind of slow so everybody can follow along. So if, in the first if statement, you're going to want to put it in parentheses here, if multiple underscore busts divided by multiple, oops, I typoed, multiple samp size times 100.00 is less than lower bust. So if the bust rate is less than lower bust, which is the variable we set up before, now we want to have an and. So we're going to want to encase this entire statement in parentheses. And let me just check to make sure that, okay, so that it does close off everything. And so if this is the case and the following is the case, so again, multiple underscore profits divided by mult samp size times 100.00 is greater than higher profit. And now we want to encase this all in parentheses. Good. Colon, enter. Now we're back underneath this super long statement. So if we have a lower bust rate and a higher profit rate, what do we want to do? Well, if we do have that as the case, then we'd like it to, report it to us. So we're going to say print, and just so I can see the differences between everybody, we're going to print that, and we'll print that again down here. And now we'll actually print the stuff that we care about. We're going to say found a winner. The multiple was, and this is going to tell us what the random multiple was. Then we're going to say print lower bust to beat, and we'll just say lower bust, and print higher profit rate to beat higher profit. And now what we're going to do is we're going to print bust rate, and our bust rate was multiple busts divided by mult samp, or actually it's multiple samp size times 100.00. And then finally we want to print profit rate, and profit rate is again multiple busts divided by multiple samp size times 100.00. And that's everything. So when we're all done, that's the scenario. Now, just for debugging purposes, I'd like to see the else. For now, we will shut up the else momentarily, but we want to make sure that we're seeing numbers that we believe to be, you know, legitimate numbers, and we're actually running everything right. So for this part, let's copy and paste this down, but we did not find a winner. We found a loser instead. And that's enough. So at this point, that's all we really need. So let's go ahead and save and run. Chances are there was a typo somewhere at least. So let's see what we get. Sure enough, VY is not defined. That came back to bite us in the butt, and we don't even need it. But VY, I don't even know where VY is. Who's got VY? VY, wow. Oh, it's supposed to be value Y, so this is VY. Okay, got it. Chickity check. Okay, so now it's checking a random multiple. Found a loser. The multiple was 8.2. Bust rate, 95% of everybody went bust. Profit rate, 95%. Made a that can't be right. Yeah, we're doing the same math here. Let's go back down here. Okay, multiple profits, or multiple profit, I can't remember which. Profits. And multiple profits. Run it again. Herpin' and a derpin'. Okay, these are the old ones up here. Alright, that's looking a little better. So, here we go. We found a loser. Multiple was 5.5. 91% of everybody went bust. Only 8% made a profit. Here we have a 2.6. High bust rate and a low profit rate of 439, 7.0. Okay, so you guys get the point. I'm going to close this out, and now we're going to just search for winners. We don't care about the losers. Guess that'll do. Else. Pass. Save. Run. And so I'll just let this run for a little bit, and we'll see if we find any winners, and if so, where are they? Not sure how we ran into this one now, but not before. But anyways, I guess because we only found losers. We found a winner, and we'll never know what it was because we typoed mult samp size. So, where are we? Multiple, or at least I thought we did. Let's see. If. Oh, okay. So we found one that was at least better than this, but then it failed this one. Multiple samp size. Okay. So saving, running, and I'll pause again. Hopefully we'll have a actual result soon. Alright everybody, we've got at least a few samples now. So I'll just bring them over. Let me make the window